This is Hudson. I'm doing the podcast.
You, Hudson.
So thanks to Hudson who stepped in and did our podcast intro yesterday.
At least we assume we did.
Maybe he did. I actually didn't check. I don't know. Maybe he just threw the podcast out.
All we know is we forgot to do it yesterday, so someone else had to.
Well, and that was my fault because I ran out super fast to go to the doctor, and you'll find out the results of that. You'll find out the results of my tests
when you listen to this podcast today.
Other things that, man, real big winner today. You'll find out how my morning started. It was huge.
It was big.
That, and we talk about McDonald's and Ford.
Yeah.
Top Gear. The UPS guy. He's the problem.
Well, this guy was the problem.
Yeah, we talk, let's see, the new James Bond stuff. The Butthead Fart Launcher 3000.
I like how you just casually say that.
Yeah, just throw it out there. The Devil Wears Prada, Demon Hunter.
There's more on Demon Hunter.
There is.
There was a dream.
And probably the most important thing we hear about today is something new from DiGiorno.
DiGiorno and Stouffer's are doing meatless stuff. So we have some news on that and a bit of a drama thing with it.
I'll tell you what, when it hits you.
You'll know it.
You'll know. Like when you'll know. You'll know.
And I don't know how the rest of your day will go because of the shockness of it.
I just imagine you know what, speaking of James Bond, you remember that scene where they come upstairs and they're just like in total shock, sitting there in their clothes in the shower, just staring straight ahead? Because they're like, there's this crazy, all this violence in Casino Royale. And
that
the girls,
one?
Yeah, the girl's just freaking out. And so she just goes and sits in the shower in her clothes and like.
Well, who doesn't do that?
And that's what I imagine. You just walk right into the shower, turn on the water, and just sit down and stare straight ahead.
You can't handle it.
It's like I can't take it.
Well, enjoy the podcast. Don't forget, you're welcome to text us anytime, 877-2-RADIO-U. Even if we're not in the studio, we'll get back with you once we're in the following time.
Because that's what we do.
Yeah, so feel free to text us or join us at Radio U Riot on our Facebook page.
All right, you guys enjoy and have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
The definition of insanity is putting the riot on again and again and expecting a better result. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
This morning, I got up on time and I went downstairs.
Yeah.
And I got all dressed and ready for my morning run.
Yeah.
Even had my headphones on and the music playing.
You were really ready then.
Shoes on.
Yes.
And then I just laid on the floor in my kitchen and slept.
Oh, no. Oh.
I just...
You don't know what happened? What made you even lay on the floor in the first place? Did you say, like, you get 1 minute or something?
The battle was lost. Like, I was... In fairness, I'll tell you how it happened. Like, I was sitting there. It was when I was putting my shoes on that that's when I lost it.
Close to the floor.
I was sitting down, and I put one shoe on, and then I was just like, I just can't make it. I can't. And I mean, I would love...
You had already almost made it.
Sometimes I wish that I could record my inner dialogue so that you guys could hear it. Because it's literally this voice that's like, I just can't. I can't make it. I can't do this anymore. I can't do anymore. Like, I can't do this. I can't go in and talk.
I can't put my other
supposed
shoe
to whatever.
on.
Like, and then there's this other voice that's like, bro, one foot in front of the other. You've got one shoe on. Get the other shoe on. Then just go outside.
Yeah.
If you can get out the front door, it won't matter. And I'm just like, I can't.
So you just lay down?
I was like, I just want to lay on the floor. And then eventually I just, like, it's a war. Sorry, that's my coffee.
His timer's ready.
It was just this war of attrition, maybe. I don't know. But eventually that positive, you can and you will shut up voice just lost. And I just laid down on the kitchen floor.
So you did not run.
No,
but
but
you're ready for whenever later today you can go run.
The thing is that if I had run, I would be so much more awake and ready to face the day.
Sure.
Because it's not as if I got, I'll tell you when I got rested last night. It was the 10 minutes I laid on the floor in the kitchen. Now, the 5.5 hours I was in bed, that didn't do a lot for me.
But you needed 10 more minutes.
But that 10 minutes on the kitchen floor, that was where I really got it together.
You did.
And was ready to face the day. When I woke up and I'm just laying, and I mean, I had to set an alarm. When I'm laying there and it's just like, boy, you really did it, didn't you? Like, you really pulled it together. You're really making it happen right now.
Well, at least you're rested, or a little bit more rested.
You're a go-getter. You're an overcomer.
Hey, just don't think about this morning. That's a pass, okay? Just pass from this morning. Enjoy your coffee and just say, I was going to do it later today.
What did that guy say yesterday? That's a hard okay.
That's a hard okay.
I mean, I did what are like the hardest parts? I got out of bed and got dressed.
Yeah, I'm
That's
surprised.
usually where, if you can get that done, the rest of it usually kind of falls into place.
I mean, the fact that you even set an alarm means you were just like, nope, I'm laying down and going to sleep.
I give up.
I give up with that.
I'm giving up right now.
All right. Well, that's okay. That is okay.
It's okay, guys.
It's okay. It's all right.
Still drove in. That's something. I didn't pull the car over and sleep on the way here.
You came to work.
I've done that before, too, but...
Is it healthy eating so many snacks, chips, and Oreos every single morning? No, of course not. But they do it for you.
Too many guys got the stomach for this line of work.
That's real love. It's the Riot on RadioU.
You know what? It seems like a good a place as any for us to talk about this. We haven't mentioned it on the show, but I absolutely noticed and balked at the Peloton ad.
Oh, from the
weekend. That ran over the weekend.
Well,
did you see it?
I did, but when I must not have been watching it very well because I didn't feel offended after watching it. But once you hear why people are and actually pay attention to the ad, then you're like, oh, that's a poor move.
Well, you know what's funny about it is you really would have to see it to kind of get it. But basically, it's Christmas morning. Mm-hmm. They come downstairs, and these two fitness models, which they are.
Even though it's like the before.
Right. They come downstairs, and the woman finds a Peloton bike, which if you don't know what that is, it's a very specific branded type of bike that you buy the bike and you buy a subscription to the online workouts.
So on the screen, you're doing like your class with it.
Right. And you know what? It's fine. Whatever. And this woman gets like excited / afraid that she has it now. Like she's so pumped about it. And
she's nervous.
Right. So she keeps doing these video blogs that we're watching. And then she forces her husband to watch them.
She kind of like tracks
working out
the whole year.
Right. And it's hard to explain. But when I saw the commercial, which is only like 30 seconds, I hated it instantly. Like there were so many things about it that I didn't like. Mm-hmm. I feel like, okay, one of the things that I don't like is, and I know this is what advertising's job is, but I don't like sometimes the way you see it prey on people's weaknesses or desires. And there was something about that ad that was like, don't you want to be an Instagram superstar? Don't you want to be a social media sensation where people follow your journey? It's a journey, right? And your family's there cheering for you, and your husband trusted you enough to give you this bike, and you're like, oh, guys.
There's a lot.
Oh, guys.
It's an onion.
There's so much here that I hate about this commercial.
So it obviously caused some problems for it after it started running over the weekend.
I felt relief because when I saw this, I was like, I wasn't the only one. I wasn't just being that crazy person that hates all commercials. No, they lost their stock value as of yesterday morning. Wait, today's Thursday. But as of Tuesday morning, was down almost 10%. Mm-hmm. Almost 10%.
You're like, that's not a lot. That is a lot for the company.
How about almost $1 billion? Mm-hmm. They lost almost $1 billion over that ad because they say that the online outrage was so great about that ad that people sold stock over
get out of it?
Yes.
Well, it's supposed to be, or it has portrayed itself as a more progressive company before that. So the ad just really seemed like...
Well, now the one thing I will say is I think the ad, it really has more to do with the attitude with you watch it. Mm-hmm. I do think that there is a room full of people that have positive thoughts and feelings about working out, and they already do the things portrayed in that commercial. And I can see you showing that ad to those people and them loving it.
And then the real world.
Well, no, I
would maybe not agree.
I actually think it's a perfect example of it just being you're so
the bubble.
in your own bubble.
Yeah.
I was going to say up your own bubble.
That's
but
wrong.
That's not what it was.
In your own bubble.
Okay.
For the advertisements.
That you don't understand the way like the rest of the world's going to perceive it.
Sure.
And it's a common problem with a lot of people. But dang. It cost them almost $1 billion.
That's a big, I don't know if the advertising agency would be like, here, where's our bonus? Don't think you get one.
Hey, listen, we told you that people would be talking about you.
we got them talking. That is true.
We told you that this ad would resonate. And while, it's rough now, ride it out.
Yeah, sure.
Okay?
Ride it out on your bike.
That woman did a year on the bike. Let's do a year on this, okay?
I don't know. I think that's going to hurt him.
Oh, dude, it's rough. To lose $1 billion in a day. I mean, I usually make $1 billion in a day, but to lose it.
If it's louder than it has to be and way worse than it has any right to be, it must be the worst of the riot. On Radio U.
I have often thought to myself as I'm making coffee, like, because I don't make a whole lot of waste when I make it because I'm not making or I'm not using filters. I'm using like a French press, so it's a reusable filter, whatever. But as I empty the French press out, like the used grounds into the trash, I'm like, where does this go? Like what? Like
the coffee grounds?
Yeah, like is it biodegradable? Like it's earth stuff? Does it go back to the earth?
I think
don't know.
Don't people like can you compost it or can you put it in your garden?
I think you can compost it.
If you have a garden.
But I was
or
going
the
to
back
say
of your house.
That part about putting it in the garden, first I'm going to need to get a garden.
I get that.
So
now you can have like one plant where you just put the coffee grounds on it
that's
every
where
day.
they go.
Poor plant.
So I actually think this is pretty cool. So McDonald's makes a lot of coffee, right? So they are going to be partnering with Ford, and the chaff, which is produced while roasting coffee beans, I don't know what that is. They are going to be converting that to bioplastics, which will then go into
the Ford cars,
the headlight housing of the car.
That's fascinating.
It is fascinating, and it means that you can go out and lick your headlight.
No, it doesn't.
And get what you need.
Remember when we talked about not our opinions on stories, but just the facts? They didn't say that in that.
No, but I just feel like it would be.
Imagine if you licked your headlights? That's so gross.
Somebody
you could
just
totally be on a special on like a TV show. Like, no, you're not doing that.
Yeah, I saw a headline about a woman that's in love with an airplane. So this isn't weird. This seems
it falls right in line with that show stuff.
You think it does?
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, but they say that these new components will be a 20% lighter than plastic because it's a bioplastic. Mm-hmm. And they require 25% less energy to manufacture.
Great.
So they're, reduce, reuse, recycling, and it's going to weigh less, which, may get you an extra 0.000000001 miles per gallon.
Car might be more efficient, even though, gosh, can you imagine how amazing it'd be on a nice warm morning or you wake up and get your car started and you're like, what's that smell? If you could get a little coffee smell out of it.
My car. Dude, that's like, well, I know for sure Me Without You, but there was another band that we played that they had a biodiesel car.
The Chinese food smell.
They would get used fry oil. And that's what they would feed their cars. And like they would start their car and it would smell like Chinese food.
It would. It'd smell amazing, but then also just very odd.
Well, and disappointing because there's no Chinese food. Yeah, it's just...
You're pretty desperate if you're like, can I just have some oil? Just a little.
What are you guys going to do with that oil?
Well, it's a neat thing. So the McDonald's part of the coffee stuff.
Right. Some of the waste that's manufactured or that's used in the manufacturing coffee process, they're going to be able to take that and put it in Ford cars.
For the headlights.
It's pretty cool, really.
Are people really still listening to the riot? You don't have work to do or laundry to fold or literally anything else to do? The riot. Radio U.
I wish you guys could get Nikki's initial reaction to things.
I was happy and now I'm not happy.
She cleans it up for the air, but We're talking about, apparently Top Gear America is going to be a thing again. Now, if you don't know what Top Gear is a British motoring show.
It was amazing. And I know it's still around, but then it stopped being amazing because they had the thing and
they had a fight and
the hosts had to leave, that sort of stuff.
So the hosts now are on the Grand Tour on Amazon, and they have new hosts for the British version of Top Gear, which I've never watched. I mean, I watched the old one, but I never watched any of the new one.
I watched a couple because it was Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah, sure, the guy from Friends.
Yeah, and then two other people, but it didn't have the same feelings.
Something's missing.
Something was missing. Something was different.
The funny thing about it, too, is that watching the Grand Tour, I feel the same way. I'm just like,
something's slightly off.
Something's off. Like, they're just not quite getting it. Which is too bad.
But they had a Top Gear, because I've seen Top Gear, I think, in Australia. I've seen the South Korean one. And they had the American one.
Yes. Which was on, like, the History Channel or something.
It was. I think it was on BBC America. They said for one season in 2017. And then it ran for 6 seasons, Top Gear USA.
Did it really?
On the History Channel from 2011 to 2016.
I can't believe it ran that long.
It did.
I watched the first 2 episodes of that, and they were literally complete remakes of the things British they had done on the British show. And I was like, well, there's no point in watching this.
But I like car shows.
Yeah.
So I watched a few of it, and then it just kind of went away.
So they are bringing Top Gear America back with British endurance racer Jethro Bovingdon.
No idea.
Come on, you guys know Jethro?
No, some guy, Rob Corddry, who's an actor, but he doesn't seem familiar.
It's
You've
weird
seen him in
that I
something?
recognize the name and not the actor. And then Dax Shepard.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but I mostly just know him because he's married to Kristen Bell.
Sure, but he's done other stuff on his own.
He has.
He's a car enthusiast.
And so up until this point, everything's going fine.
Right. I was super excited. Yay, and it's bringing back a car show.
Then tell him, Nikki.
Well, I assumed it would still be on the History Channel, and then I didn't know it moved to BBC America, and I didn't know it lost the opportunity to be on BBC America. So it's going to stream exclusively on Motor Trend.
Now,
that's it.
Okay. Do they have a website?
A streaming service? I don't know.
A streaming service?
I don't even know.
App?
Is Motor Trend?
It's a magazine.
It's a magazine?
Yeah. I mean, not that I've ever read it, but, you know.
I just feel like the opportunity for me to watch it was greater if it was on a network that was just more accessible.
I think you're right. That's true.
No, I'm not interested.
But, I mean, if you could just go to motortrend.com and watch it,
No,
Nikki, that's available everywhere.
I don't even want to do that. Don't even want to do that. It'll exclusively stream there. It starts in spring of next year.
I'll bet you give it a shot.
I bet not.
You don't think so?
I don't like to watch anything on my laptop, so.
Well, you can watch it on your phone.
What?
You know what? No, that's it.
It's fine. I didn't want to watch anyways. You know?
You
it's
guys
fine.
suck.
I'm just going to go watch old episodes of Top Gear, which I still do.
They're so good.
And that's all I need. I don't need anything new.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
You know, yesterday was International Protect Your Porch porch package piracy.
You had 3 things yesterday.
We did.
You had like Cookie Day, Sock Day or something, and then Ring, who does like the security doorbell things, did their, for the last couple of years, Protect Your Porch Day.
Protect your porch.
Yeah, because you get a lot of people who start getting packages delivered from Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So you get a lot of deliveries, therefore a lot of people who are porch pirates.
Well, you know, porch pirates are one thing that we all have to be on the lookout for. But what happens when the call's coming from inside the house?
What do you mean?
I mean, what if it's the UPS guy that's stealing stuff?
No, like from someone else's delivery or?
Emmanuel Reagan Jr. He hid several packages behind a dumpster while his UPS coworker was not looking. So here's the idea.
Oh, so he stashed it away?
Yeah. Have you ever seen UPS? Sometimes during the holidays, they'll have 2 people on a truck. So he was a temp guy that was working with the driver, and he stashed boxes that he was supposed to be taking to a delivery spot.
Yeah.
And then he came back and got them later. and,
got caught for it.
Oh, yeah, he got caught.
But, as a driver, you can't tell what's in the package.
Sometimes you can.
You can, like, from the information or, like, from shaking it?
Well, okay, think about it like this. What if you were getting a receiver, a home theater receiver, because they said it was a bunch of electronics.
Oh, so you could tell from it was shipped in the box?
A lot of times they'll ship it directly in the box instead of a secondary box, and as a result, you'd be like, oh, yeah, I know what this is, or I know what that is.
Compared to, if I'm buying something from Amazon, it's in the Amazon box. You can't tell.
Exactly. So the police stopped by, and it turned out he had a lot of very nice things in his apartment.
I'm still shocked. Why do you think you would not eventually get caught? There would be complaints. Eventually it would get down to you.
Maybe. I don't know. That's like when I worked at that record store, there was a guy who works in a different department and the video games and whatever. And so what he would do was he would throw away a bunch of stuff, take the stuff out to the dumpster, and then go back at night.
And get it from the dumpster?
And then he would get it out of the dumpster.
Oh, it really is an inside job there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I would think this guy would want to steal from several other trucks and not just the one he was working on.
Well, I don't know exactly how they nailed him. It was a combination of surveillance footage and...
you go back too often, they're always going to catch you. Eventually, they'll always find out.
That's the problem. You get away with it once, and that was probably about as far as you could take it, but you keep going. And
before you know it, you're caught with all the packages behind the tree, and they know it's you.
Yeah, he definitely got found out. I saw a video the other day of an Amazon. Have you seen this one? Of the Amazon driver that drops off the packages, takes a picture of them, the packages on the porch, and then just picks them up and walks off with them?
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that guy got busted, but it was one of those Ring doorbells.
So many people have cameras nowadays, so that's why you want to have a camera.
Yeah, so it was hilarious. He puts them down, takes a picture. You can kind of see he's trying to make sure nobody's home, and then he just picks the package.
Yep. Man, come on. We have a trust that we're supposed to have with the delivery people.
No trust,
We're not supposed to do that. I mean, I understand we need to be
I'll tell you where this is headed.
From Porch Pirates, but not the delivery people.
This is going back in the day, people had to sign for deliveries.
No, it's not going to go to that. It's going to go to drones. It'll be without people.
Yeah, it'll be because you guys can't be trusted.
It'll be there's a drone landing pad in your neighborhood. You go pick it up. You go get it from there.
You're actually probably right.
They're just going to take away the people equation.
You're listening to a morning show hosted by two people who absolutely despise getting up in the morning.
Will you give me a break one time?
The Riot, RadioU.
Okay, Nikki, last night, well, I guess it was like yesterday afternoon, James Bond made an appearance.
The new movie trailer?
He's back!
All right.
So... Did you watch it?
I watched still the teaser for the trailer, but not the trailer. So, yay!
Last week, they put out a 15-second teaser for a teaser.
And then the teaser came out.
Then the teaser came out. That was 60 seconds.
Yep.
Then they had a teaser for the trailer.
That's what I watched.
And the trailer came out last night. And I watched the trailer.
What do you think?
I actually think it looks fantastic.
How's the
really
humor
think
level?
It looks good.
And they said they really want to bring in more of a female presence on this one.
You know what? Here's one of the things that interests me is that in the trailer, spoilers, Bond has been retired for 2 years. And so he meets a girl, and she's an actress. I can't remember her name, but she's a 00. And the big thing...
What's a 00?
Okay. Oh...
Still an agent?
A 00 is a special agent for MI6 that has a license to kill.
Thank you. Okay.
And so that means that they are kind of put in the field and they're given large amounts of leeway for how they conduct their affairs.
Sure.
And so Bond is 007, but there are a bunch of other 00s as well. And the big rumor going in is that she has taken his number. So she is now 007. So the big thing, a few months ago was there's a new female James Bond. And it's no, her name's not going to be whatever. She's just
an agent.
She's probably the new 007 because he's retired. That is well in universe and makes perfect sense. Great, whatever. So there's that. There's the insinuation. I think that Bond married the girl from the last movie. If he didn't, they were together for a while and et cetera, et cetera. So I thought the trailer looked great. The only thought that I had while watching it is this. However long ago that Daniel Craig became James Bond, everybody was like, it was like Bond was back and people loved it. And it wasn't just like your dad or your grandpa that liked James Bond. Like they had kind of reinvented Bond for a new generation. But now we're on the back end of that cycle.
Because he's older? Or?
Well, just that he's been Bond for a long time. His last movie was not super well received. At least that's how it feels to me. So I just wonder if anybody cares. And I know that sounds harsh, but I don't mean it that way. I just mean, have we gotten to a point in the James Bond cycle where people are like, James Bond, whatever.
Like in our industry, we're very aware of what a target is and who they're trying to actually reach with it. I'd be very curious to find out who their target is.
Who do they want to watch this movie?
Yeah, like how young does it go? Male compared to female? I'm not sure.
And the other thing, too, with a movie like James Bond, and it's like this with any like franchise or genre, they already know there's a certain part of the audience. They don't even have to advertise to you. Your money is already being counted on. So a lot of times with advertising, they will go after the people that they don't already have. So like they already know your grandpa's going, they already know your dad's going, but like with the commercial, do they want to get to your girlfriend because she's excited there's a female James Bond?
I don't know.
I'm not trying to be stereotypical.
Oh, yes, we're hearing.
I mean, just to say this, I don't know a lot of girls that are like, yeah.
I think they want to start to, like, they were trying to make it more woke. And then I think they make those changes in this one. Then they reinvent Bond, which they're supposed to do for the next one.
Right.
And that's when they start. This is like a farewell sort of thing.
See you later.
Bye, Bond.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Well, that's what's happening. It's out in April.
Yeah, which is weird. It feels like a fall
November.
movie.
Yeah, they normally put it on. And in fact, it should have been out in November, but Daniel Craig got injured, so they had to delay filming by like 6 months. So, yep, April.
So that's the new Bond trailer.
Wow. Not only are you already awake, but you're listening to The Riot? Your day is off to a pretty rough start. The Riot on RadioU.
So we got Nikki, we were talking the new James Bond movie about 10 minutes ago, and Erin texted, she says, I'm a girl. She's looking forward to James Bond.
Yeah.
And then we got this text from Tim that has really got me thinking. So Nikki and I do have a tendency to be suckers for the one-man wrecking crew action movie.
That's just how it is.
So he wants to know, we have to choose between John Wick, Jack Reacher, Robert McCall, which is Denzel Washington's character in The Equalizer.
Okay. Which they did 2 Equalizers, right?
They did. I absolutely loved the first Equalizer.
Second one, not so much.
I thought the second one was just terrible, which is a bummer.
Second ones are never so good.
Ethan Hunt, which is Mission Impossible, or James Bond.
It's a good question.
Which one would you pick out of that mix?
I would go with John Wick.
You would?
First, followed by Ethan Hunt. I think Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible. I think Mission Impossible gets better.
It is. I completely agree with you.
And it's one of the only franchises where it actually happens.
For me, as much as I am historically a James Bond fan, I would put Ethan Hunt at the front of that line. Yeah, because if you start with Mission Impossible 1, I feel like it
Don't start there. Go later.
No, well, that's what I'm going to say is I feel like it's a good movie that doesn't hold up as well because I don't know. It's a whole thing. It's a Brian De Palma movie. You got to know De Palma and the kind of movies he makes, and it's weird. Mission Impossible 2 is not good.
It's in the same boat.
Mission Impossible 3 is spectacular. And going forward, I think the Mission Impossible movies are head and shoulders. I think they are better than the Bond stuff. Because like with Bond, Casino Royale was really good. But I don't think it's been as good since then. Even Skyfall, which I think is good, I don't think it holds up super well. But the Mission Impossible movies from 3 all the way until last year's Fallout,
what I feel like?
What?
I need to watch the newest one. I need to go back and watch that again.
I agree with you. I've only seen it a couple of times.
That could be a good weekend thing.
The one that I have seen over and over and over again is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Mm-hmm. That is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Sure.
It's so good.
Now, Bridget just said, what about Jason Bourne? No.
I think those Bourne movies, do age well.
Yeah.
I think they have aged better than the Daniel Craig Bond movies have. Because was it 2 years ago during a Black Friday sale? I didn't have those Bourne movies, and I picked them all up and rewatched them over a weekend, and they hold up super well.
What's your pick then? Did you say what's your?
I actually think I would take Ethan Hunt above the rest of them.
Sure. Okay. So Ethan Hunt for you.
Yeah. The other thing that I like about Ethan Hunt is, unlike all of these other characters, I don't feel. Well, no, not so with. That's one of the things I like about Ethan Hunt, and even about the Equalizer character is they're good people.
Sure.
I kind of like that. James Bond, as much as I enjoy his movies, he's kind of a scumbag.
Well, I mean, they don't want you to really look into that. Not anymore, he's not.
Now he's woke and it's fine.
He's changed man.
And, I mean, John Wick is he lived a rough life, but he learned that love can change him. But then, things got bumpy after that.
Tim, thank you for texting. That's a really good question. And then Adam, he just texted. He said, "You just convinced me to watch Mission Impossible." I think he only watched the first one. It was meh. Jack Reacher, worth watching.
I don't know. I think the Jack Reacher stuff is okay.
I think that's usually streaming free somewhere. So
it is. I watched
brings it down a little bit.
I watched both of those movies, and I've read a couple of the books, and it's okay. The thing that got me on board with that is I have a friend that Jack Reacher's his favorite thing ever, the books. And so I watched the movies and I thought, they're okay.
Well, again, Tim, good question.
Yeah. Jack Reacher is very much what do they call him? The Mary Sue of where they're good at absolutely everything no matter what.
Sure.
No matter, yeah.
You have to have at least something you're bad at.
Right.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Is it too late to get a couple of things on the old Christmas list?
No, not at all. We still have plenty of time.
Okay. So I would like to officially add the Fart Launcher 3000 to
you would to your Christmas list.
The full name is the Butthead's Fart Launcher 3000.
How mature does it sound? It's
nice.
Like a Nerf gun. Sort of looking thing.
Well, have you ever seen one of those air guns where you can blow air in somebody's face, where you pull, it's just like this big, it almost looks like a magnifying or like a handheld mirror a megaphone, and you pull back on it and release it, and it just shoots air. And it's weird because you can totally feel it, but I mean, it's air.
So this is not just air.
No.
It's fart air, which I never thought we'd say on the show.
The idea is exactly the same, except it's got...
It's got 10 feet.
It's got a trigger on it, and the trigger releases this smell, which you then use air to propel at someone.
If you get this and bring it to work, I'm not coming to work that day. Do you understand? I'm not coming to work. And I'll tell the boss that.
Remember, it's been a while, but remember when I used to burp and blow it in your face?
You still do that. Anytime we take a picture next to each other, you almost always still do that.
I do not.
You did that when we were taking a picture right there.
We've taken a lot of pictures right there. Okay? So come on.
Every time we take a picture and if I'm right in front of you, you always do that.
I burp and blow it in your face?
Yes, you do.
I find that hard to believe.
I do not find it hard to believe.
Out of character. I've changed so much that I find it hard to imagine. Like the way I've grown as a person, and you're accusing me of this, it's shocking.
Which is why we always have to take a few pictures, because the first one's me frowning, just like, what? But I don't want you to bring a fart gun into work.
I don't understand. They say that the popularity of this, the more the word gets out, it's crazy.
Can you
Everybody
even get it anywhere?
wants one.
How much
on
is it
Amazon? It's $17.
I don't want it around here.
I like the idea. Here's what's beautiful too. It's a silent but deadly gun.
Oh my
it doesn't
gosh.
Listen, it doesn't make any noise. You just pull the
Doesn't
trigger.
do the air? Don't you feel the whoosh?
Well, you feel it, but it doesn't make that noise. And so it would just be a quick. So here's what I like. I like the idea of me sitting out in the office, and you and Michael are at your desks with your doors open and all this stuff, and I could just be
working hard.
Poof.
Poof, and just, what's that? And then, everybody's all upset.
You get that 1 second delay of it,
Just stop thinking these things through. Stop it. We're not getting it.
What if we got Chris? Chris is back there in that corner.
No, it's it's the nice season. Like, I don't want to do that around Christmas. I don't want to.
I just don't have anywhere else to use this. Though it'd be a lot of fun to, oh my gosh, what a great YouTube prank video. Set up a little camera, take this out in public, and just
see what happens.
Just hit people with it.
So what is its official title?
It's the Butthead's Fart Launcher.
That's my favorite part of it, by the way.
The Butthead's Fart Launcher 3000.
Great. Like a little under
Only
18.
$17.
Just affordable if you're looking for a last minute gift for a loved one. Imagine giving that to your girlfriend. She was wanting a ring. You give her that.
You're down on one knee.
Oh, send the blast. You're like, look, honey, watch this.
It's the best.
All right, you can add it to your Christmas list, but I don't know if someone's going to get that for you. That's a we'll see right there. We'll see if Santa brings you that.
Yeah, the funny thing about it is I feel like I could put this on my Christmas list and be guaranteed to
Someone
get it.
would?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the Riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Now, I don't have the text message in front of me, but yesterday we had somebody text and was like, hey, please never stop talking about Demon Hunters, the negative.
With our thoughts on what the song could be used for marketing purposes.
Yes. He seems to agree with us that
on our ideas for it.
Our ideas regarding Demon Hunter are
the
a
negative.
good one. Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's down to some sort of like budget money app sort of system, or like a bank app. Like here at First Bank, you get like no overdraft fees or something. You'll never get into the negative. Or a weight loss one was one too.
That's been the other one that we've played around with, is the idea that, hey, what if it was like Jenny Craig or whatever? With our special diet, we'll put you in the negative. The negative.
Something like that.
So we feel like there's a lot of opportunities there, and a lot of people are on board. But it finally happened. You know it had to. Last night I had a dream that you and I'm not making this up, Nikki. I swear I'm not. I had a dream that you and I were at Tooth and Nail.
Yeah.
And because we did this, Nikki and I went to Tooth and Nail a few years ago.
We did a show for an anniversary.
And we got a chance to meet Ryan from Demon Hunter and see. He used to have an office at Tooth and Nail, and we went in and saw his office, and it was full of weird baby heads.
Doll heads, yeah.
Yeah, not actual babies. Okay.
Clarify.
Thanks, Nikki.
You're welcome.
And I had a dream last night that you and I were at Tooth and Nail again.
Yeah.
And we were waiting, and Ryan came into the room so that we could talk to him
about pitching it.
About what we could do with the negative.
Hey, first off, the fact that you had a dream about that is amazing.
It's worked its way in. It's worked its way all the way in.
That's fantastic.
I did. I really dreamed about it. And I was just like, man.
Because, you feel the passion with it, don't you? You can see like this could totally make this band even bigger.
And I there we were in Seattle, sitting across from Ryan, getting ready. We never had the actual conversation.
It was lead up to it.
We were just getting ready to have the conversation with him.
Dude, just imagine a bank out there. It's like, are you tired of being in the negative?
Seattle First Pacific Bank doesn't want to see you in the negative.
It works beautifully with it.
And we do that whole like surreal, like bizarre thing where Demon Hunter is setting up in the bank, and somebody comes in and they're like,
they've overcharged or whatever, and so they're in the negative, and the bank forgives them, and the band starts playing.
Something like that. Or they have to go in and they're like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. Your checking account is currently in the negative. The negative.
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect.
But we're here to help you.
Yeah, I want it to be a very supportive bank. Like they're, totally into the new way of doing it. They're not going to charge you extra. They're going to just forgive it.
Yeah, but we are this close to pitching it, Nikki. In my mind, it's already happening.
Done?
It's already happening.
I just really enjoy the fact that it's entered in enough to your emotions and your body and your brain and stuff that you're dreaming about it. And I hope that for you guys, it does the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to dream about tonight?
Who knows? Aaron says, every time I hear the word negative, now I hear you guys singing the commercial.
Yes. The negative. You have to say it that way.
The negative. Let's see. Justin says, make a great background song for a political attack ad.
Well, that too.
Well, I appreciate where you're saying,
I don't
Justin,
want to
but
ruin
I
it,
don't want to drag it into that.
Never bring politics into something you like. That's a negative.
Somebody put that on the wall.
Yeah!
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You know, I was reading the lyrics while I was listening to the song.
During the song, that is new stuff from the Devil Wears Prada called Chemical. And if you want to catch the music video, that's on RadioU TV, so you can check out more music videos from our artists that we play through RadioU.tv, our RadioU app, and Roku channel.
Yeah, you know what? Like, just talking about that song, it resonates with me because, you know, he talks about, if you listen to it, he says, there's a hole in my head and heart, but I'm a long way from the start. And I get that, you know, especially, gosh, some of you who are astute can probably tell. The last couple of weeks, I've really been struggling. Depression is something I deal with. I take medication for it. Sometimes I go to therapy for it. And I've got all these little things I do to cope with it. Like exercise is a big deal. Journal a few times a week. Like there's just all these different things I do. And I've been having a hard time. And it starts to affect you. Like, you know, he talks about laying in bed, waking up to no meaning, staring at the ceiling. And I'm just
now,
like...
Just because you laid on the floor this morning and went back to sleep doesn't mean...
Yeah. But, you know, there's some of this I just identify with. And I want you to know that if you're just in a spot where you're struggling... You know, like it's okay to struggle. Like you look around, you're like, they don't have a hard time. They're fine. Why am I not fine? First off, a lot of people around you aren't fine. A lot of people are having a hard time. Two, you can be easy on yourself. Like you could give yourself a little bit of a break. You know what? So what? Maybe today you're not going to bat 1,000. So what? Like you're a person, you make mistakes. That's okay. And I just also want you to know that in the middle of all of that, you got to understand that you're loved. Do you know that God loves you? God knows your imperfections. He knows your difficulties, and he loves you. And he knows sometimes that just showing up, like, man, that's like gold medal performance. Like you showed up. Woo! You know, like we think a lot of times as God, you know, we've got that real negative voice in our head, and we think that's the voice of God that's tearing us apart. But that's not it. You know, that God is, if life had a cheerleader, God is cheering for you. God actually wants the best for you in every situation. He wants you to be at your best. He loves you when you're not. He loves you when you are. God is pulling for you. And so don't mistake that negative voice in your head for the voice of God or even truth. I want you to know that God loves you. He's pulling for you. And you and I'm pulling for you too. If you don't have a relationship with God, I just want you to know that you're loved and that you can have that. Right now, forget about what you've heard. Get to know God for who he really is. Just say, Jesus, I need that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I am struggling and I need help. And I'll tell you, it doesn't take any more than that to invite God in and for him to show up and help you through your day. You're not alone. We're here with you. I laid on the floor in the kitchen this morning. So you know what? I made it. I know you can too. Come on.
The only morning show brave enough to say that Chicken McNuggets are part of a balanced breakfast. The Riot on RadioU.
Okay, Nikki, I have this story that you sent me about a McDonald's chicken sandwich.
Yeah, did you not see their testing stuff?
I did not. What are they doing?
Well,
a Southern-style chicken sandwich?
Yeah, so basically they're getting in the chicken game. Not their normal chicken sandwich, but it's supposed to be like Chick-fil-A's and Popeyes.
Okay, because I'll just tell you, I'm not proud of it, but every once in a while, I'll roll through the McDonald's drive-thru and get a McChicken sandwich for
like your hidden thing with them?
Well, listen, a McChicken sandwich is $1. Which tells me that they still have to make money on that McChicken sandwich.
It's less than that.
So the amount of money they're putting into that chicken is so low that it's probably not actually fit for human consumption.
Well, it's Houston and Knoxville are getting a sneak peek. And then in 2020, well, the sneak peek testing is December. It's through January 26th. So it started on the 2nd.
Okay.
Goes until the 26th. Basically, there's a crispy chicken sandwich and a deluxe crispy chicken sandwich, and it's on the bun that makes you think it's like Chick-fil-A, like I said, or Popeyes.
Well, the funny thing to me is I thought they already did this. And they did, but they discontinued it in 2015.
They don't want you to remember that.
Didn't even know that.
No, but
That's how often I order it.
This is not their normal style chicken sandwich. They make it look like what's popular now.
Here we go. They say a juicy, crispy chicken breast fillet with a hint of dill and tangy pickles, all served on a buttery steamed bun.
It's even like wrapped in the Chick-fil-A style, Popeye style packaging.
Is.
So it's wrapped the same way. So it's in Knoxville and Houston.
Okay. Well, what do you think? Do you care?
That's the chicken I like.
You went to Popeyes last week again.
That's the second time, and I will never go again. I went in, and you're not
never
supposed to go in.
You don't go in?
You can't see how things are made. You don't want to know the process. You don't know what... I was disappointed in the whole thing. I don't think I could ever go again.
Yeah.
Definitely not in for sure, but that's my style chicken. If I'm going to have chicken, that's it.
Hey, I have been thinking about another swing through a Popeyes for the chicken sandwich.
It was good again.
It's good?
It is really surprisingly good. Eric tried the voodoo chicken thing that they have going on, like the spicy one.
I'm sorry, Nikki, but I won't allow that.
You don't believe in that?
No.
It's the ghost pepper one.
See, that's another thing I'm not going to let.
With the sauce.
You're telling me that they got to feed me voodoo chicken with a ghost on it?
Well, we talked about it. That's their thing now. And so I had never had any other type of like chicken tenders from Popeyes before. And I thought, it'll be just like the sandwich and deluxe and just delicious. It is not. So the sandwich is where you go for it. That's it. And the sauce is pretty bad, so no thank you.
Well, maybe, might have occasion to hit a drive-through today. I don't know.
So Knoxville, Houston, you get to test the new sandwich from McDonald's until later in January.
Okay. Sounds good. I'd be up for it.
Anytime we can talk about food and chicken, we're fine with it.
Listen, I'll just tell you right now, McDonald's peaked at the Chicken McNugget. All right? They're all white meat now, That's what they say.
Thanks for sharing that.
Just letting you know.
Thanks.
Makes me feel better.
The Riot really wanted to do this live, but now they can play video games and eat rice cakes instead. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
You see this, Nikki?
What is it?
Maybe, you know what? Maybe we could send this to Brandon in Houston. Maybe he'd like it since he's testing food for us. DiGiorno and Stouffer's are both bringing plant-based, quote-unquote, meat to the frozen food aisle.
Where was all this stuff when I was a vegan?
Nikki, when you were suffering.
I know, there was none of the fun stuff.
So here we go. DiGiorno introduces the Meatless Supreme.
Now, is it just meat alternatives but still cheese? Or
Yes.
Okay, so it's just more vegetarian then.
Yeah. Sorry, Nikki.
That's all right.
Vegans. Who cares about them, right?
You got baby steps for all types. You got to start somewhere.
Well, as a lot of flexitarians have been saying, you have to celebrate the choices they're making so that they might be willing to go even farther.
That's right.
So,
instead of being negative and
I'm sorry. Are you
negative about it?
Are you being negative about meatless pizza? Don't be caught in the negative.
Be a positive and realize you're at least getting something.
So there's that, and then Stouffer's is introducing a plant-based protein meatless lasagna.
Ooh,
I do like lasagna.
That could be good.
That do sound good.
Yes, it do.
Yes, it do.
High five.
Oh, sure.
I love when you tell us the details.
So they say that it's a mix of yellow pea protein. Ew.
It's not that.
I'm sorry.
Peas.
Wheat, gluten,
Great.
and multiple veggie oils.
Oh, if you're like gluten-free, it must be the worst sounding thing ever.
They say it's a meat-like taste with plenty of protein, fiber, and, of course, reduced guilt.
I'm sure.
Reduced guilt, so you still feel guilt. Like
Well,
you're still
having pizza. I mean, it's still pizza.
Man, so we're tired. I'm supposed to feel guilty about eating pizza?
It's not an everyday food.
It should be.
I don't think it is.
Well, if it's meatless, Nikki, it can be now.
Well, that's why they're also still having normal cheese on it, because they got to at least cover it in something. You won't be able to tell.
Something's got to be there for it.
Well, that's good, though. When did it say it was going to start?
Spring of 2020.
And is it, DiGiorno?
It's DiGiorno pizza and Stouffer's lasagna. And it's going to start as being available through Amazon Fresh. And then at some point it may go somewhere else. But you'll have to have it delivered first. How do they do?
It's not delivery, though. It's DiGiorno. Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh. You have to have the DiGiorno delivered. My whole life is a lie. My whole life is a lie.
They can't totally do that at all.
What?
Amazon Fresh has to bring it to me?
It is all falling apart. The world is on fire.
That was their whole ad campaign.
I can't believe anything anymore.
Great.
DiGiorno is being delivered
by Amazon Fresh.
No!
I think we need a moment.
The meat's not real. They're delivering it. This whole thing. What is happening? I'm going back to therapy right now.
You just keep strong, okay?
What can I believe?
Don't grumble.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
You guys didn't hear it, but Nikki and I are, at this point, I feel like we're relating every location to food.
No, we're not. Don't get worried. No one needs to worry yet. It's fine.
Oh, because I went to the doctor yesterday and absolutely got my donut.
Well, you had to not eat because you had blood drawn, and if you've never had blood drawn, you have to fast during that time, and then you ate a donut after.
I got something better for you.
What?
I didn't get my blood drawn yesterday.
What do you mean?
You ready? I fasted and all this stuff, and I went in there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's a mistake. Like you only have to do that. Like you did that 3 months ago. We'll just wait 3 more months." And I was just kind of like, "Okay,
wait a minute."
I'm standing there in this weird conundrum. Like, guys,
you said? Did you even ask?
No, they said the doctor came in and he was like, "Oh, we don't need to do that." And I was just like, I haven't eaten.
I haven't eaten because of this.
I haven't eaten.
Can't you just...
I'm hungry. And I told everybody how hungry I was.
And I'm on the air in case you didn't know this.
Because blood. And then you're like, then there's part of you that's like, wait, we don't have to get blood? So that means they're not going to poke me 100 times and finally stick it in my hand?
Yeah, but since you fasted, you should have made him do it already.
All right, Nikki.
Just to get it done.
But, well, this actually brings up two things. I have to go back in February.
Yeah.
And they're like, then I actually do have to have my blood drawn. So I'll have to fast again, which I don't know if you guys know this, but going a whole 8 hours without food is just...
It's hard when you don't want to.
Too much.
When someone makes you do it, it's hard.
Right. And so it's just that moment of like, do I speak up and I'm like, hey, I don't want to fast for nothing? Or do I rejoice in the fact that they're not going to stick me 100 times?
That's a good question because it's hard to get blood out of you.
Yeah, it is. My body's natural defenses.
Your body's like, something's wrong. Don't do it. What are you doing?
Though I will tell you, the lady that came in and gave me my flu shot.
Yeah.
It was like I didn't even feel it barely.
Yeah, but that's a shot. I mean, with blood, they're
they're putting something in.
Yeah, you'll feel that one.
It's a deposit, not a withdrawal.
So are we supposed to put down in like what, February, March? We're going to go through this all over again?
Yes. Actually, I misspoke. I said February. I believe it to be. It's a Monday.
A Monday in March?
In March.
Okay.
It's the first Monday in March.
Obi will not be eating. Maybe we'll all not eat that morning and we'll do it together as a show.
That's a great idea.
Won't that be nice? We'll all just say no breakfast that morning.
Okay, great. A lot of you were doing it anyway, didn't even know you were participating.
It's just you. It's just so funny. You're like, of course you didn't end up having to do that. Of course it didn't work out.
But just to let you know, blood or no.
You did get the donut?
I got that donut.
Of course you did. Well, you did your part. So.
I did my part, even if they didn't.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey,
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
Never bring politics into something you like.